Right, welcome back. Okay, what I'd like you to do now is I'd like you to go onto the College Board website to AP Central, and I'd like you to download the 2014 exam. What I want you to do is exactly what we learned about previously. So I want you to, first of all, underline the essential question. Then I want you to read through the sources and underline whatever you find compelling. Of course, at the same time, you're keeping in mind any linkages and commonalities that you can find between the sources, so you can craft very compelling topic sentences for each of your paragraphs. Then after you've done that, I want you to come up with 3 topic sentences, 3 claims for your body paragraphs, and 2 pieces of evidence to support each one of these claims, just like we did before. And then once you've done that, finally come up with a thesis. So please pause this video now and do exactly that. And then when you've done all of that, come back and let's chat. Great, hopefully you've done all of that and it went successfully. If you're struggling, not a big deal. We're going to go through things together and figure out where you went right or wrong. Okay, so the first thing is, again, let's go back to the question. And we have to figure out what our essential question is first. So I hope when you're reading it, you zeroed in on this phrase that I've highlighted in yellow. Write a coherent, well-developed essay that evaluates whether college is worth its cost. So you're being asked, is college worth its cost? Yes, no, maybe, right? Keep that in mind as you read through the sources. So based on this essential question, I came up with the following. I first of all highlighted that yes, a college education is a very costly investment, and that cost should not be ignored when people are thinking about attending colleges. However, a college education usually results in robust lifetime earnings for a person. And 3, a college education has mental and physical benefits for people. So you can see here I did something a little bit different to what we did in the 2016 exam. In the 2016 exam, I just went in one direction. I was pro multilingualism completely. This essay, I'm going to take a slightly more nuanced approach in that my first body paragraph will acknowledge that the cost of a college education is something pretty scary and something quite severe that people need to consider. But fundamentally, my thesis is that even though it is very expensive for a person, and even though you can get very high debts, etc., a college education is still worthwhile because it allows a person to have robust lifetime earnings, and there are other mental and physical benefits that accrue to people. So this leads to our thesis that while the cost of college is indeed a concern that should not be ignored, the benefits of a college education in terms of lifetime earnings and mental and physical benefits ensure that it is a worthwhile investment for school leavers. So I really like to do those kind of concession style thesis, because to me it makes your writing a little bit more interesting for a reader, and it also makes you come across as a more balanced, deeper thinking writer. This is something we're actually going to talk about in question 2 when we start doing rhetorical analysis essays, in that you're quote-unquote developing your ethos by conceding a point that maybe goes against your thesis, and that makes you ironically more persuasive to readers. Okay, so now I'll just go through each of the sources and just talk briefly about the evidence that I used. So let's start off with source F. We're going to go down to source F. Just scroll down here. So here it is. Oh, sorry, that's source E. Here it is here, source F. So you can see cost. A majority of Americans, 57%, say the higher education system in the United States is failing to provide students with good value for money they and their families spend. An even larger majority, 75%, say college is too expensive for most Americans to afford. Another little quote that I liked was this one here. About half, 45%, say that paying off debt made it harder to pay other bills. So here you can see that there is a very high financial cost to pay in attending college. So we shouldn't just say a universal that absolutely it's a great idea to attend college. A better approach is for people to first of all understand that college is extremely expensive and it does have lifetime implications for them. This is reflected also in source E. Here, students today are taking on more debt, and recently tightened bankruptcy laws make it more difficult to shake that debt, he argues. This is Peter Thiel. And those factors make higher education a risky investment. So you can see how it would be very simple for me now to craft a paragraph with making the point that a college education does come with some pretty severe financial implications and shouldn't just be done on a whim. Okay, now let's look at our next claim, which is a college education usually results in robust lifetime earnings. So you basically over your lifetime you're going to make pretty good money, even though initially maybe you have to spend quite a lot of money. So that is in source D, which is here. The returns from a degree have soared. 3 decades ago, full-time workers with a bachelor's degree made 40% more than those with only a high school diploma. Last year, the gap reached 83%. So you can see college graduates are far outperforming those who just have a high school diploma. Great evidence for that one. The other one is source E. This is source F, which is the median gap in annual earnings between a high school and college graduates, as reported by the U.S. Census Bureau in 2010, is nearly $20,000. Okay, it's a lot. It's a substantial difference. Okay, so second body paragraph, focusing very much on the earnings. Then the last one we're going to talk about is B and D, which is a college education has mental and physical benefits for people. Okay, so let's go all the way up to B first. And you can see here the development of the capacities for critical inquiry associated with liberal learning can be enormously practical because they become resources on which to draw from continual learning for making decisions in one's life and for making a difference in the world. These are the cognitive/mental benefits of doing a college education. And then in D, we have, and beyond money, education seems to make people happier and healthier. So you can see how that matches nicely with my claim that a college education has mental and physical benefits for people. So out of looking at this 2016 and 2014, these prompts, I hope from this you see the kind of step-by-step process you're supposed to go through. It's very mechanical. First of all, what are you being asked? Second of all, skim read each of the sources, looking for evidence. Third thing, make sure the evidence has some kind of link. So you're trying to group them into different categories. You're looking for about 3 categories. Fourth, once you have those categories, create your claims, which are the topic sentences for each paragraph. And then finally, based on that, create your thesis. Okay. Now you see the step-by-step process for getting ready to actually write. And as I said to you in a prior video, this is about 75% of the material. If you can do this for the synthesis essay, you'll be very well equipped to do well in the actual exam. The secret though is practice. You can't just watch the videos that I've made and then be like, oh, okay, yeah, cool, I get it, in theory. You have to actually go out and practice it. Give yourself about 10 minutes. They say 15 minutes, but I don't think that's good. I would go with 10. See if you can try and read and sort and come up with these 3 claims and the evidence and the thesis in about 10 to 12 minutes. Okay, that'll leave plenty of time for you to do actual writing. Okay, great. So now we're going to move on to the introduction, which I'll do in the next video. Awesome. Chat to you soon.